Good day, everyone. I'm Jessica Eder, a college student from Surigao State College of Technology. So in this video, I will show you how the communication being done between the receiver and the sender. On the other hand, I will explain to you each step on networking, on executing, every detail on how to process your data that being sent from different media. So in this video, I will show you how the communication being done between the receiver and the sender. On the other hand, I will explain to you each step on networking, on executing, every detail on how to process your data that being sent from different media. Every day we communicate. Communication happens to a conversation, posters, or glances across a room. In fact, post communication occurs without much effort on our parts or even opening our mouth. We can take a look on the big picture of communication and examine its basic elements. Communication starts with an idea. To be able to communicate, we must have an idea, a notion, something we want to express, information to share, etc. Our past experiences, values, attitude, knowledge, culture, and feelings all influence our ideas and the way that we interpret the ideas of others. These influences are our unique perceptions or the way we view things around us. Before ideas can be transmitted to another person or a group, we must encode this idea. For example, you may realize that you are hungry and encode the following message to send to your roommate. I'm hungry. Do you want to get pizza tonight? As your roommate receives the message, they decode your communication and turn it back into thoughts to make meaning. So now that the idea is encoded, it's ready to be transmitted or sent to another person or group. The encoded idea is called the message. The message is sent to a receiver. This is just like in a football game. The receiver is to catch the football. A telephone has a receiver in which you are able to hear the person on the other end of the line. The receiver must then interpret the message by filtering the new information through their past experiences, culture, attitudes, knowledge, values, and feelings. So we have examples of communication dissemination using the mobile devices and computers. So let's start with the use of computer. In the computer, you're watching a movie. So in this scenario, the sender is the movie who delivered the message to the audience, and that audience or receiver is you. While you are watching a movie, you are expressing your opinion about the movie, and that is what we call the feedback. Another example of communication dissemination is the use of mobile devices. In mobile devices, you are calling to someone on your cell phone to report the good news, and with this scenario, the sender who delivered the message is you, and the receiver is the someone on your phone. So in this case, after you report the good news to the receiver is going to respond to you, and so on. You two are going to change rule by exchanging the information through cell phone, and that is called the feedback. This interpretation is called decoding the message. The sender needs to make sure that the receiver understood the message. Therefore, it is the receiver's job to convey a message back. The receiver's reply to the sender is called feedback. Feedback. The feedback is allows the sender to ensure that the original message was interpreted correctly by the receiver. Once a cycle has gone full circle, it will repeat itself for as long as the conversation continues. We could even say that the sender and receiver change rules throughout the process depending who is sending the message and who is responding to feedback. Now that we understand the general idea about how the cycle works, let's look at a few other pieces of the communication process. We have the channel. The messages that are transmitted between senders and receivers are sent through channels. The channel essentially determines how the message will be sent. For example, if I wanted to tell someone hello, I could wave, say hello, or text hi to someone with my cell phone. The messages will be the same. However, the manner in which I choose to send it varies. Think about the decisions that you have to make. If you want to give someone a present, will you give it to them yourself, mail it through the post office, or ask a friend to deliver it for you? Messages can be sent through many channels, like for example, speaking face to face instead of messaging, writing letters, making facial expressions or communication, or even watching television. Another important piece of the communication process is the context in which communication takes place. The context includes everything from the emotions of the communicators, the reason for the communication taking place, and where the actual communication takes place. So far, we have looked at the communication process and how it works in ideal situations. However, sometimes the process is interrupted. Something that interrupts, distorts, blocks, or interferes with the process is referred to as a communication barrier. Loud noises, bad phone connections, language, attitudes about the topic or speaker, the temperature, and a broken hearing aid are all examples of the communication barriers. So, we are done discussing about the information dissemination. So, let's now have a networking. Networking is the most people use when talking about connecting computers together so they can share data with each other and all connect to the internet at the same time. Let's take a closer look to the key components of a simple easy to set up network. Think of a network is similar to your body central nervous system. At the top of the network is a brain that handles all the traffic coming through. This is called a router. The brain is connected to a spine and sends signals to route your network. This device is called the switch and distributes signals to all of your computers and devices to a network cables. Now let's check out each of the components of a wired network and detail. Start with the router. Router has a smart little computer inside that identifies all the computer and devices, and your network and design are unique number to each one contains 192.168.1.3, and that is called an IP address. A router also connects to the internet outside your home via a modem that can be provided by your DSL or cable internet. A router is always works managing the transient of information your computer devices send and receive, and controlling which computer and devices you give information. How the information is being sent from internet to your computer and devices, and how does it enable your computer to share information with each other. So this is the answer. The answer is a switch. A switch sends traffic to your network to the places needs to go. Your home router has a switch with 4 port installed right to it. You can also give wireless router from net that use radio signals with the same thing as a switch, but these still have a more ports built into them, so you can use wires with them too. When you're buying a router for use in a wired network, pay attention to the speed of the built-in switch. The fastest switches are called gigabit and are perfect for appliances by streaming videos at your home. Meanwhile, router switches are called fast Ethernet, are great for essential tasks like web surfing, email, and online gaming. Now say you can have more than 4 items you'd like to plug into a router. You need more ports. The solution is easy. You need an additional switch. In this case, you just need the switch portion and not a router, because your network doesn't need 2 brain after all. The give switches has as low as some should 24 ports and more. Once again, when you need the fastest speed, go for a gigabit switch. It recognizes these new connections and starts sending data to them right away.